Now, on this episode of A Prepper's Life. And that's pretty much the process until it's done. All right, there it is. Full of dirt. At least I've kind of leveled up the bottom. It's not perfectly level, but that wasn't the point. The point was making sure I didn't get stuff falling out the edges, and I didn't have to put a whole bunch of valuable soil in there that was going to be not needed or not used. So I brought it up a little bit. It's a little unlevel, but it's level enough to do the job. Gracie's curious, what the heck just happened here? It was a flat spot, wasn't there, kitty? Anyway, that is what I'm doing tonight. Tomorrow, or at least the next time I get to it, which I hope is tomorrow, I'm going to lay the fabric down and then start mixing the compost, get it in there, and finish planting the rest of the stuff. And there's probably going to be space for new things, which will go to seeds, which I will start by seeds. So who knows, I may go to, you know, a nursery somewhere and pick up some stuff that's already been started too, but just to get this thing rolling. Until then, I got other things to do, and as soon as I know what those are, you'll know too. Alright, so I did bring home a full truckload of cow poop, what they so lovingly refer to as mushroom compost. But that's not the only thing that I'm going to put in. I'm going to mix vermiculite, which I've talked about, and peat moss, which I've talked about. But when it comes to the compost, you see the mix is a third compost, a third vermiculite, and a third peat moss. But when it comes to the compost, you don't want the same, like I don't want to put just the mushroom in. So I bought that to go with what I've been working on making for myself, my own compost. And it's best to have like 3 different kinds of compost. And I think those recommendations come from the idea that you're going to go to a Lowe's or a Home Depot and buy bags of stuff. And so they say get 3 different types. The idea is to mix a bunch of stuff. So I've been working on my own compost pile, which you can see there. Now this was, the top of it looked mostly like this right here still, because I've been mixing grass cuttings, table scraps, and chicken manure, rabbit manure, all kinds of stuff like that. And I've been moving this pile around the yard until I finally stuck this cinder block set up here, and I've been creating. I also have ran worm tubs where I got tubs that I'm just throwing in old newspaper and cardboard, grass cuttings, you know, table scraps, stuff like that, and throwing in red regular worms and letting them go at it. With all that said, I'm going to mix this, which I would say constitutes at least a 3 different kind of mix with my mushroom compost, but I wanted to dig down to what was the good stuff, what was done. So you can see here, that's what was on top. Some of it was grass clippings. You can see some table scraps and stuff like that. And I'm getting down to this. This is starting to be what you would call black gold. Once I get this part off, I'm going to scrape this just a little bit more and get some of the grass and stuff out of there. But it's looking really good, and that's going to go in the mix. As you can see in my truck liner here, you see where I have grass clippings, and I'm just bringing over what hasn't gone fully compost yet, putting it on top. Once I get that done, I'll start making the mix, and I'll show you a way I found to mix that's not so laborious. It's still time consuming, but it's not laborious, I guess, if that would be the term. Anyway, let's get to it. Perfect. Alright, so I've got to fill the grow box with, first got to level the ground underneath of it, and then I've got to put in my growing mix, my soil. Now I have a bunch of stuff back there in the compost pile, but I would like to get some vermiculite or perlite and some more peat moss, which I've only got about half a bag of. Mix it up and make it some nice soil.